tournament. Each team has played one game. Canada and the Commonwealth of States have both won their first two games, so this game between them could well determine the winner of this year's Four-Nation Championship. There's confirmation of the standing as it stays at the moment. The Commonwealth of Independent States there, well, they beat Czechoslovakia. Canada upset the host nation Sweden to get their 2 points. So this one, well, it's plenty on the line. The winners could well be on their way to winning the whole tournament. Nick Halling along with me, the Great Britain coach Alex Dampier, and this is the one, I think, Alex, that could well decide this tournament.
Well, this has always been a real rivalry, Nick. You know, ever since Russia has knocked Canada off a number of years ago, the Canadian players take a lot of pride in trying to beat this CIS team. And, you know, today's not going to be any change. I think they have to go out there and really go at them.
Well, there we see one change already. Trevor Kidd has gone in goal for Canada. Sean Burke, who performed such heroics against Sweden, has been rested. Trevor Kidd, a 19-year-old who plays for Brandon Spokane, gets the start. And Alex, that's something of a surprise.
Well, I think it's a good chance to have a look at this young guy. They're going to have to use him in Albertville. So, you know, if he can do the job, then they know they don't have to overwork Sean Burke. Canada in red, the CIS in white. CIS having goal Andrei Trefilov, who was outstanding against Czechoslovakia, and no doubt will be getting quite a workout. The Canadians look very sharp, particularly that number 2 line in their first game with Dave Hannun, Eric Lindros and Dave Archibald. We'll keep an eye out for that line. Hannun 10, Lindros 88 and Archibald 12. I think, Nick, Canada's going to really have to watch their penalties in a game against Russia. They get so emotionally involved, and Russia's got a tremendous power play. If they get caught up in penalties, that could mean the whole difference.
And there we see Trevor Kidd just getting himself warmed up. Big moment for him. And there we see the official, all 3 officials. The referee and the 2 linesmen are from Sweden.
That's never something that goes in favor of Canada either. The European referees really come down heavy on the Canadian style of play.
Battle, battle, guys, battle!
You can hear in the background Nick talking about the battle, and I think that's what is in terms of in Canada. That's what this is. It's not a game tonight. It's going to be an actual out-and-out war for them. Every time they play Russia, it's got to be that way because the CIS team is very strong and they're a dominant force.
Lindros out on the line trying to feed Dave Archibald. Archibald had the ball, the puck rather, taken off him, but Lindros back with another opportunity, and already we're seeing that line of Lindros, Archibald and Hannun. Still applying the pressure, the Canadians, getting it across. Archibald doesn't quite pick that one up. Gets it back to Hannun, and the Russians, with a little bit of difficulty, managed to get it away. And here come the CIS on the counter-attack. Petrenko, Alexei Yazyin in there as well. I don't think you Canadians smile very much when you play an ice hockey.
Well, usually not much to smile about. We haven't won much lately. Although Canada did well, I must say, in the last tournament they played against the European nations. At least they won it, and it was a tough contest. It's hard to say, really, Nick, what this CIS team is going to be like because of the breakup in the state. But you know, from what we've seen so far, they look quite strong.
Well, Wally Schreiber trying to push it through, but nothing doing, and back come the CIS. Boris Mironov with the long slap shot, testing Trevor Kidd.
I think Canada have to look to certain players, like obviously Sean Burke's not playing tonight, but he's a key part of this team if they're going to do something. He can absorb a lot of pressure. And some of their older players, like Wally Schreiber and Gordy Hynes, they're seasoned veterans, and they're going to have to pull out all the stops to beat a team like the CIS.
Another long slap shot coming in from the CIS, continuing to apply the pressure. Patrick Lebo there plays for the Fredericton Canadiens.
They've got a lot of American leaguers, sort of like the farm team to the NHL players on the squad, and they're good, experienced hockey players. I think really the Canadian team has a lot of depth. They may not be the top players, but they're certainly be hungry enough.
Well, we saw in their first game, you may have seen it yesterday here on Screen Sport, they were very, very good counter-punchers, the Canadians, a team that looked set to absorb punishment and then counter-attack and score on the break. Another battle on the boards, this one a very physical game already. There's Nikolskin in there, in battle with Adrian Plawsik. But still the CIS looking to do something here. Good battling there from Nikolitshin. One of many Dynamo Moscow players on this CIS team. Very much a Moscow-based squad.
See, this will be the problem now, Nick. If penalties are going to start early on Canada, then you know they're going to be in real trouble. They're going to have to. I hope they've got their penalty killing sorted out, because the CIS power play over the years has been brilliant, and they could really. This is make or break for the Team Canada.
So Fabian Joseph sits it out for a couple of minutes for tripping. So the CIS will get their first power play opportunity of the match.
Here we go.
So the first test of Team Canada's ability to kill the penalty.
Be strong, be strong.
Straight away, CIS get control of the puck, broken up there and forced backwards.
Well, it looks like Team Canada is going to force a little bit, because the CIS tend to set up, and then when they set up their power play, they're very strong.
Go, go!
This is good work by Team Canada. They've, you know, not many teams strip the puck off the CIS, and especially when they're short-handed.
Good job.
And they've done it twice, getting the enthusiastic support from their bench. But here come the CIS. That was Titov, who scored against Czechoslovakia.
They're not letting them settle. That's the key right here.
Good play, Red. Good job, Joey.
Селянин
Good job.
takes the ball behind, the puck behind his net and feeds Titov. Titov, they take it out wide to the right-hand side. The long slap shot comes in. Kid gets a hold of that glove save, but there's a rebound and possibilities in front of the net. And a goal goes in. I think Viktor Karamnov, number 26 there, the last man to get a hold of it. Karpovtsev with the shot. He'll get an assist. And then the puck fell loose in front of the net. And Vitaly Karamnov, the first man to react to it. Let's take another look at it.
Well, that's the problem, Nick. You see they set up, and they've got a good pattern. I mean, they go to the net. That shot came in, and it went off the Russian skate, but it was still, they've got good set patterns. They work back to the point. Here's the shot. A man drove to the net. Now, that's always the key. When you shoot from the blue line in, one of your players has to drive to the goaltender to cause problems.
So Trevor Kidd's goal is breached early. CIS scoring on the power play. Well, they're 1 for 1 tonight. Any blame attached to Trevor Kidd for that goal?
I don't think so. He went down, but he looked like he went down a few times before it. I think it's just one of those things, you know, with a shot on net and with a deflection, it's not much you can do about it. The only thing I would see so far, he's given up a few rebounds, but he's going to have to be sharp, there's no doubt about that. They relied on Burke the last game. If they're going to rely on this young fella here, then he better be sharp.
Well, he didn't give up the rebound there. We saw in that first game against Sweden, Canada gave up an early goal, but hit back almost immediately, and then soaked up pressure before counter-punching and getting the winning goal late on. And this game so far following that pattern, in as much as Canada have given up the early goal, but the CIS haven't conceded a goal yet against the Czechs. It's going to be tough to score against the CIS, as Canada will no doubt find, but they'll be looking for that equaliser.
I think one of the main things for Canada also is that this is probably not the team that's going to head for Albertville. It'll be part of it, but there's guys still fighting for their jobs. There's spots there, and there's a lot of, you know, everybody wants to play for the Olympic team, so there's, you know, they'll have to go all out here, or else they may not be going.
And an opportunity on the breakaway there. Hannah trying to get it across. Lindros. That's a very sharp-looking line.
They look at home out there. That big ice surface seems to suit them, and Lindros, being a big, rangy fella, he looks like he likes the room.
And stolen there.
Good goal.
Eric Lindros, the man. Once again, Canada have hit back straight away, and it's the big teenager, Eric Lindros, putting it away.
You know, you look at him and you look at one of your favorite players, Yager, that plays for Pittsburgh, and they look very similar in their style of play, and they're both real young hockey players.
Well, let's take another look at this one. Wally Schreibner with the assist. That was a big assist, and I think even you'd have fancied getting it in from there. Easy finish.
He hit the post.
Well, that would have been embarrassing if Lindros had...
1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits.
Well, Schreiber into that second line for Dave Hannan. We're surprised. But well, you can see why he came in.
Well, yeah, you know, it's still a trial period for some of these guys. As much as they all are over here, it doesn't mean they're going to the Olympics, you know, as part of the team.
And now Canada keeping the pressure on, and it's Schreiber again, back feeding his colleague Chabot.
There's an awful lot of room out there, Nick. You know, it's just like the not like the NHL games at all. It's they have more room to move around, not quite as much hitting.
Now it's the CIS's turn to put on a bit of pressure. Bundled out of it, good defensive work there from the Canadians. And again, Canada managed to get the puck away, dumping it in, dump and chase, very much the NHL style. Todd Brost getting in there against the boards. Smirnov battling for the puck. And another collision there, but just getting out of it. Boris Mironov saw Todd Brost coming.
Even though this rink is big, the Canadians are still being told to follow their checks through. It's so important to let the CIS players have to know that they've got to handle the puck quicker, or else they're going to get bumped.
Good penetrating move here from Shargotsky. And the pressure stays on. This is Nikolshin. He's been involved in a lot of the early play. The Dynamo Moscow forward. Kevin Darla's locked up his man on the boards behind the net, and Canada relieve the pressure and bring it away.
Well, I think Canada's doing a good job right now. They seem to be skating with the CIS team, which is something that's a very hard thing to do. The CIS players are great skaters. They play together quite a bit, and this team, Canada, isn't always a team for any length of time.
Confirmation of the score, one apiece then between the CIS and Canada. And we saw Adrian Plawsik going back to the bench for the Canadians, plays for Vancouver. Rather, he's a member of the Vancouver team. And it's the first line back out again. Contos, Jüno and Mandервилл for the Canadians.
I think this Canadian team looks right at home. I'm really surprised. I didn't think they'd adapt as well as they have to this type of ice surface, and the team they're playing. I thought they'd be under pressure an awful lot more, but they're doing a real good job.
Getting that early equalizer must have really helped them.
I think so, and I don't think they probably gave the CIS a little too much respect at first. They realize now they can play with them. You know, they're out there and they're playing man for man. They're hitting them. They're skating with them. That's got to give them some confidence.
Chris Kontos was looking to land the big hit there, but Селянин saw him coming a long way off and just neatly skipped out of the way. Europeans very good at getting out of the way of the big hits on the boards, as we've seen over the years.
They've got that built-in radar. They know exactly when to throw snow. The Canadians are noted in the hockey world for being a bit aggressive, and they have to maintain that reputation, or they could be in trouble. They have to keep hitting the CIS players.
And Titov that was, feeding it through. Trevor Kidd covers up.
It's got to be a big day for this young goaltender coming out of junior hockey, and all of a sudden he's up against one of the top teams in the world. He's made some good saves.
Just 19 years old, battling for his place on the Canadian Olympic team for Albertville, which is by no means assured.
I suppose too, when he's got a backup, well, I shouldn't call him a backup, Sean Burke, he can go out there and pretty well do what he wants and feel confident that if there's any problems, there's a good man ready to jump in behind him. That might take a little pressure off him.
Yazyin and Borchevsky involved in the battle on the boards, but it's the Canadians who managed to clear their lines. But back come the CIS again. Petrenko dumping it in, dump and chase, but it's the Canadians there first. Dave Hannah. Some hitting coming in from the Russians. Borchevsky. Mustn't call them Russians, but you will forgive us for the occasional lapse, I trust. Years of calling them Soviets and Russians. Well, those habits die hard. The CIS as they are now.
They'll be Russians till the day I die, I'm afraid.
Which is why you're not on the board of the United Nations. Another attack coming through from the CIS. Yazyin, that was taking it forward. Another penalty assessed. So, one apiece here in the first period between the CIS and Canada. We're going to back to the Globe Arena in Stockholm. We're still in the first period. Canada and the Commonwealth of Independent States tied up at one apiece. Nick Halling with Alex Dampier. There's no question of these two teams going through the motions.
There'll always be a lot of heart in these games. We said earlier, it's I think there's no such thing as a friendly with these two teams. I think the key, Nick's got to be still the Canadians have got to stay out of the penalty box.
Do it.
That was a good chance.
Hey guys, this guy's
The CIS had one power play chance and they scored on it, so we really have to be, I think they have to be careful not to get caught up in retaliation penalties in particular.
Wally Schreiber, number 16, getting a lot of playing time and looking dangerous going down the right-hand side of the rink.
Hey, this guy's challenging.
I think we talked at first about a guy like Schreiber. He's got to be a key player on this team. He's getting a lot of ice time mainly because he's playing very, very well right now.
Good play, good try, man. Good play.
Take another look at that. Pressure coming from the Canadians.
Well, that was a break you don't very often see against the CIS team. A guy, one winger getting in alone on their defense, and the defense backed right in and topped the goalie.
Yeah, they look very composed against the Czechs to the CIS, but these Canadians look like they're going to ruffle their feathers a little bit. That was smart work from Trefilov. Saw the pressure coming and just got rid of the puck. An important clean-up operation there from Plawsik.
I think Trefilov has had a lot to do with the CIS success. I mean, I thought he had a great game against the Czechoslovakian team. You know, if it hadn't been for him, they could have been in trouble.
Well, he was the MVP for the CIS and really was the only candidate. Had an outstanding game in that shutout. Another battle deep in the Canadian end of the rink. They're trying to get it away and mount an attack of their own. The CIS, little mix up there in the centre of the rink, and that's given Canada another opportunity.
We're seeing things here now with the CIS is they don't seem to know where each other are. They're a little bit trouble in that neutral zone between the two blue lines. That's very uncharacteristic of their team. Usually they dominate between that zone. That's where they're very, very strong.
Chebiev getting it away and feeding Motkov, who's another one of those players who's had a good tournament so far. Again, Canada find the puck at the wrong end of the rink as far as they're concerned. And again, getting past the blue line, getting up into centre ice. Gordy Hynes buying himself a bit of time.
Well, they're on a delayed penalty right now, and Hynes is just waiting to get settled down while they get the extra player on the ice and see if they can get something set up here with the extra man.
And we will now have the penalty.
Good job, Red. Nice control out there, Red. That's good possession, Red team.
Well, you heard that from the Canadian coach. If you were their coach, would you be saying the same?
Well, I'd be happy that they finally got a chance for a power play. At one time, I think he declined all power plays because the Russians were so strong penalty killing, they're liable to score on you. But Canada looks strong here. I'm really, really impressed with this team. You know, if they can continue like this, I think they got a good chance of beating them.
Herman Titov, the villain, the man who scored after 33 seconds against Czechoslovakia a couple of days ago. Well, he gets a personal timeout for the next couple of minutes, and so it's Canada who go to the power play. So what happened when the CIS had a power play? They popped it in. Canada, of course, drew level straight away, but they'll be looking to see if they can take the lead on this power play. And immediately they get an opportunity, but the CIS, good battling there from Karamnov.
The CIS, Nick, they won't sit back like a lot of teams do. They pressurize all the time, even though they're short-handed. They won't let you settle, and I think that's probably the same tactics they're going to use here.
Dave Hannun trying to get it, but no support there. Archibald and Lindros following up, and Trevor Kidd at the back leaves it for Gordy Hynes.
This is a key player for the Canadian team. He can control things. He's a good settled hockey player. I think they're going to rely awfully heavily on him on defense.
Every team needs a big, imposing kind of force at the blue line, and Hynes is filling that role for Canada in this game.
You're just dying to mention your buddy Elf, aren't you? Yeah. Big, imposing player.
Ulfu.
That's it, Elfu. Very little creature.
I tell you, if Ulf Samuelsson was playing for the Swedish team, I don't think they'd have lost that first game, but they could have done with him in that one.
Oh, I can't bear this now, Nick. Now, you know, Russia again, or pardon me, the CIS again, they're just putting a lot of pressure on the Canadian team. They're a funny team this way. They can go on the offense even though they're short-handed, and they're not afraid to try it.
They are good penalty killers, the CIS. We saw that time and again against the Czechs. The Czechs thwarted and frustrated. And indeed, on one and two occasions, the CIS threatened a short-handed goal. And Canada really doing very little at all in this power play.
They were actually doing a lot more, I felt, 5-on-5. And they just can't seem to gain the zone.
It's Kevin Dahl playing it forward.
Well, this is where we're seeing the real quality of the CIS team. You kind of wonder sometimes why they don't dominate when they got 5-on-5, and they've got as much pressure with just 4 men on the ice.
Kevin Dahl again. Dahl getting a lot of playing time today. He was used sparingly in the first game against the Swedes. Wally Schreiber, another one who's getting an extended run out, finds himself locked up behind Alexander Karpotsev on the boards. Opportunities there in front of the net, but once again it gets away from Canada.
See the difference at the other end when Trefilov came out to handle the puck. He didn't really handle it all that well, whereas a lot of North American goaltenders can go out and play like that third defenseman and clear it. They can clear the zone. They're quite effective.
Icing there, the call against the CIS.
I think some teams are just quite happy to get the power play over and not get scored against, because the CIS have an awful reputation of scoring shorthanded goals.
Which is certainly something that Coach King, Dave King, and the rest of his team will be well aware of. This game finally balanced at 1 apiece. And there's some youngsters from the home nation, Sweden, in the crowd. 2,500 come to watch this game. But when Sweden take the ice against Czechoslovakia, I think we can anticipate quite a few more than that, and the noise level will go up as well.
Yeah, they sure follow their home team. Well, they like their ice hockey. They're a real nation for it, and it just shows their standings in world rankings right now. They're right up there.
And the Swedish team was certainly a little bit surprised to lose to Canada. That an upset.
Well, I think at one time, it just shows the change in times. At one time, they've been happy to get a point off Canada. Nowadays, they're a little disappointed if they don't win the game.
This is a promising move here. Todd Brost, the last man to get a shot at it, but straight away on the counter-attack. Here's Tabachev. And a big check coming in with this Nikolshin trying to get it back. Patrick Lebo tying up the CIS player down there, but the CIS get in another opportunity, and that one not far away home, and Titov was looking for that one. The Predator in front of the net. And still Canada. Now they managed to clear their lines. Gordy Hynes again, calm at the back. Селянин though gets it across.
The important thing here, the Canadian defense have got to go in and pin their men. Like right there, he's got to hold that man. You can't let him go away and get back in the play. And that's what happened that last scoring chance. The Canadians spun off the puck and the guy got back into the play and almost scored.
Kramnov clears his lines with an assist from Fabian Joseph. Kent Mandeville getting some coaching from the sidelines. Kramnov getting it across, looking for... Well, his teammates can't get it away this time though. And Lindros. Mandeville, and fed nicely, Chris Kontos. Breakaway coming up here. Joe Jüno unable to pull the trigger.
CIS team to scramble a little bit. They've got them off stride. They're making them do things that are very uncharacteristic. The only good point I've seen so far in the CIS is their penalty killing. They look like their old traditional selves.
Icing against the Canadians. There's the big fella, Eric Lindros. We talked about him before. An 18-year-old with a lot of pressure on him. A guy who gets booed wherever he plays in the world, it seems.
Well, it's going to be a class act. There's no doubt about it. He's just 18 now, and he's still, you know, he stands out in this kind of hockey. So I don't know what he's going to do when he's 20.
Well, when you consider how much filling out he's got to do, he really is going to be a very, very imposing ice hockey player indeed, and a certain future NHL great once he gets himself sorted out. Drafted by the Quebec Nordiques, of course, and upset a few people up there. He said he would never ever play for the Nordiques.
Well, he's as unpopular in Quebec as Elf Samuelson is in Minnesota.
That really is saying something on it. The attack coming at Petrenko, getting it around. Ratушны trying to stay with him, but Petrenko still got the puck. Manages to feed Filimonov, and Filimonov dumping it in. Trevor Kidd goes behind the net. And Kurt Giles, the Minnesota North Star, speaking of Minnesota, looking to mop it up.
The Canadians are chasing shadows right now. They've got to stop chasing that puck around. They've got to take bodies all the time in their end zone, or they're going to end up finding themselves getting scored against.
Still one apiece then. Honours just about even at the moment. And there's a very tired looking Dave Hannah coming off. Takes his place next to Fabian Joseph. Dave Hannah on the books of the Toronto Maple Leafs. One of many with NHL experience on this Team Canada squad.
Here we go. Here we go.
There's certainly a lot of enthusiasm on the Canadian team anyway. I can't remember seeing a team in this type of tournament so pumped up, because it's, I suppose with Albertville just a short while away, they're all looking for that spot.
Big rebound, but unfortunately for Canadian hopes, it's picked up by the CIS, and here they are mounting a counter-attack. Kudyastov coming through, taking it around the net is Chidarov. But he's tightened up. Now opportunities for Schreiber. Schreiber lays it back, and a great shot coming in from Gordy Hynes. And it was Schreiber that made that goal.
That was a good goal, and in particular a guy like Hynes, who they look for the defensive skills, he's coming up from behind. He does a great job following up the play. We talked about Schreiber, what an important player he is, and here's Hynes. Defenseman coming in late, good shot. Great goal. It's the type of goal that can really break a team's back.
Well, Gordy Hynes has done an outstanding job at the back in this game, in this first period for the Canadians, and now he's put them ahead. John Chabot getting a credit there with an assist as well, but Wally Schreiber with the layoff and Gordy Hynes with the shot puts Canada 2-1 ahead of the CIS after they trailed after just 5 minutes. There's a very good fight back by the Canadians.
The Schreiber shows he's a good journeyman, like we said before, and here he's been involved in both goals so far. He's got to be a key kind of player. It's good to see a good offensive defenseman on the Canadian team. You sometimes see them a little too flat-footed, but that was a great goal, and a little bit more of that offense, and Canada could look a little more threatening against a team like CIS.
Well, with about 90 seconds to go, it looks like Canada could go in with a lead at the end of this first period, and they nearly got another one. Excellent work there from Trefilov. Trefilov kept CIS right in it, and straight away it's Chabajev coming back. Karamnov takes it forward, and he's hit hard against the ball by Plawsik. And Patrick Lebo in there as well. And I think Lebo might have drawn a penalty here. There we see Plawsik, the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, Plawsik just missed that shot at the other end, Nick. It was a wide open net, and all he had to do was raise it an inch off the ice, and it was in, and it went right on the stick.
Well, let's see if we can see what Patrick Lebo did here.
I actually thought it was Plawsik that came back. Maybe there was something else off the puck, but
couldn't see anything wrong with that. In fact, it's Schlegel has gone in.
Must have been something behind the play. But that's unfortunate. Canada could have been up 3-1 there quite easily. And I don't think, like, the CIS haven't really had any out-and-out scoring chances, really. There hasn't been any really cut-and-dried chances. It has some decent shots, but I think Canada have had as many chances as the CIS team.
Definitely. I think they deserve this one-goal lead that they've got at the moment. They lead it 2-1. The CIS came out, they took that early opportunity and led. But here's Kurt Giles doing some defensive work now for Canada. The CIS looking to try and draw level before the end of this first period. Gordiuk getting across.
You've got to be careful here with this much time left. It's a real killer if you lose a goal this time of night. You know, just 30 seconds left in the period.
Kapovtsev with the long slap shot. Nowhere near Nikolshin.
They work that high man a lot. They bring it back to the hash marks and shoot. It's something that the traditional Russian team never did. They hardly ever shot. They worked it around until they got the perfect play.
And the Canadians get that one away. Last few seconds of this first period, then Canada clinging on to a 2-1 lead. But up against the power play, but they've got the puck where they want it for the moment. Last few seconds then, it looks like Canada will hold that lead going into the first intermission. With a breakaway on here, Dave Hannah nowhere anywhere near him. Lindros was trying to get up there, but the CIS get that one away.
9, 7.
And at the end of the first period, Canada lead it 2-1 after giving up an early goal, but they fought back well And they've taken a 2-1 lead. That second goal coming in from Hayns. There we see the scoring. It was Karamnov after just 4 minutes, putting the CIS on top. But Eric Lindros with an assist from Schreiber got them level within a minute. A minute and 1. Will get another opportunity. Lindros, the man, judged offside. There is Big Eric. Smile for a colleague there. That was Dave Hannah, the recipient of the Lindros smile. He hasn't had too much to smile about, of course, but an interesting few weeks coming up for him. CIS win the face-off in centre ice, and they react to the ball, the puck quickest. So BRF taking it around. But it's Lindros performing the clean-up operation for Team Canada. Gets over the red line, he's deep inside the blue line. That was a good attack, trying to feed Dave Archibald. Archibald couldn't quite get on the end of it, but a tremendous ring-to-ring run from Eric Lindros.
I think it just showed some good character there. I didn't realize he was such a fast skater. He broke down the ice and the CIS players couldn't get near him. The play broke down, and the Canadian defenseman got caught standing up on that Hayns, and he back-checked all the way and stripped the puck off the Russian player, or the CIS player. So, you know, for a young kid, he's learning the game real well, offensively and defensively.
But his speed is clearly something of a factor that the Canadians can use, not just in this tournament, but in the Winter Olympics in Albertville as well, because he's without doubt the fastest player on the ice right now.
Well, he's got a long stride, and he's a big man. He's very much like Lemieux in some respects. Obviously, he doesn't have the hands, but he's certainly got the size and strength to ward players off.
Canada looking perhaps just to settle into a rhythm again like they had in the first period. CIS not allowing them that luxury this time.
You know, from what we've seen so far, Nick, you couldn't really pick a team that's going to win Albertville. You know, the CIS team doesn't seem to dominate when they play Czechoslovakia. They don't seem to dominate here against the Canadian team. You kind of wonder if an outside team may pop in and get the gold medal this year.
Well, the Finns, of course, are always tough.
I'm surprised they're not here this year. I thought they attended this tournament last season, and I thought they might have showed up this year.
Now here comes a breakaway, Karamnov. And a bit of a how's your father there. Karamnov lost his stick. I thought for a minute the gloves were coming off then, but this is international ice hockey, not the NHL.
That was a dive. You know, you don't mind. That's the kind of thing right there, to me, that typifies the way some of these European teams play. If you touch them, they dive, and the referee falls for it. And here's Canada shorthanded for really no reason. I think it was just a poor call.
Well, Wally Schreiber doesn't look too happy. He's going off for hooking. A call that was disputed by his fellow countryman, Alex Dampier. And it's academic. The officials say Schreiber sits out 2 minutes.
They ate the same lunch, got the same heartburn, but his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums. That's the one you want.
Confidence. Many men lack confidence because of premature hair loss. If you're one of them, there is a solution. JHG Hair Replacement, with over 30 years of hair replacement experience, will help bring back the confidence that you desire. We specialize in the latest non-surgical strand-by-strand hair replacement techniques. With the JHG process, you can swim and shout with complete confidence. And we offer quick personalized service and complete hairstyling for men. Now you can lead a normal and active life with a natural-looking full head of hair. Call 215-671-9748 for a free brochure explaining our hair replacement process, or stop by our new location at 14,500 Bustleton Avenue in Northeast Philadelphia.
Hi, I'm Steve. Call and ask for me, and I'll tell you about this great process that helped me go from this to this.
At JHG, we're dedicated to helping you look and feel your best. Now there are no more excuses for not looking and feeling confident.
So, power play for the CIS early in this second period. They trail by 2-1.
Canada's going to have to be careful. The CIS are setting up a first-time shot off either the left side or the right side or up into the high slot area. And if Canada let them settle, these guys are too good at shooters and they're not afraid to drive to the net. They got their first goal on a power play. There's always a chance this is how they get their next one. They haven't looked dangerous other than on the power play.
That's right. Canada though, get it away. Coming back for the CIS, Filimonov.
Well, it's good to see. If Canada have developed a good system for penalty killing, then you know they'll stand a much better chance at Albertville and in the rest of this tournament because they do draw penalties. It's just the unfortunate Canadian tradition. One I'm sure Dave King is trying to get rid of.
Well, so far the penalty killing unit working very well for Team Canada. CIS not in a position to mount an assault at all, and indeed it's Canada short-handed that are pressing at the moment. Dave Archibald unable to get on the end of that one. Once again, Karpovtsev clears his lines. Titov is in there, sliding in. Gordy Hynes though shadowing him wherever he goes. Селянин pulls the trigger. Trevor Kidd makes a glove save.
That's the danger of their power play. They've changed in the last few years in how they attack, and they're using that one-time shot, pass across, first-time shot, get everybody on the move, and they get guys driving to the goaltender, try to set up a screen. It's very effective. When we saw a tournament earlier in the year, the Russians were scoring a lot in their power play using that tactic.
Well, that's an earlier incident there. A trip on Titov that went unpunished.
I think that was another yellow card incident, if I may use the term. They're too good in their skates to fall down and getting touched. I mean, they're excellent skaters, and they just won't fall over unless they want them. The Russians, they look like they know how to antagonize the Canadian players. They get in there and challenge the goaltender, and all the Canadian players are growing up. You can't touch the goaltender. If you touch him, somebody has to pay for it. I can see they're going to get penalties. The Russians have got a good tactic going here. They know how to get the Canadians off the ice.
But now it's a 5-on-4 once again. Still on the power play, of course. Real pressure coming in from the CIS here. Селянин feeding Karpovtsev. Селянин again. Picking up the loose buckets for Shorov. Shorov tied up on the boards. Canada still can't relieve this pressure.
Notice the stick change there, Nick. One of the defensemen lost his stick, and the Canadian forward gave the defenseman a stick. He's the more important player to have one. That's good, smart thinking.
Селянин again with a long shot, and here he is again. Karpovtsev, he'll try one this time. Comes off the boards. Still the pressure stays on. Back it goes, Karpovtsev. What about a pass to Селянин? No, he switches it. Goes the other side. Smirnov over there.
See, Canada's forcing them a little bit more now. I think they'll have to, because they're just setting up that one-time shot, and they just, eventually they're going to score. They just can't give them that much time to shoot.
Still, the pressure is on. Petrenko with that shot. Canada look to get it away. Селянин keeps him in there.
Kurt Giles made a big block there. He dropped off in front of that shot, and from that range, you could have easily scored a goal.
The seconds continue to tick away.
Canadians getting away with a little bit in front of the net now. The referee's letting a little bit more go. There's a couple of cross checks that kind of turned a blind eye to.
The pressure relieved at long last, and the power play over. So Canada survive. They continue to hold a 2-1 lead.
Good effort, gang.
That goaltender came up. That young goaltender kid, I thought he did a good job, and it's got to be good for his nerves going into the rest of the tournament, thinking that he can go out against one of the supposedly top teams and withstand a lot of pressure. 2 power plays in a row.
Icing the call. Yes, Trevor Kidd, definitely not a liability, the youngster from Brandon Spokane, who plays his college hockey for the University of Maine. And now, the breakaway on. It's 3 against 2 if they're quick. Fabian Joseph. That's a good grab. Fabian Joseph discovering just why Andrei Trefilov is rated as a very, very hot prospect indeed for CIS goaltending. It's been said, of course, that CIS don't have a goalie they can really rely on, but this young man, Trefilov, Dynamo Moscow, certainly seems to be fitting the bill at the moment.
Well, that game against Czechoslovakia, you keep going back to that game, he stopped a lot of rubber, and he was under pressure a lot, and I think without him, the CIS would be in a bit of trouble. You know, in the background, Nick, you can hear Terry Christ, used to be the coach of Calgary Flames. He's now working with Dave King. He's the real motivator. You can hear him yelling and roaring. He's the type of guy that gets on each player's case, and if you're not playing, he'll let you know.
Inside the final 20 seconds of this second period, CIS looking for that equaliser. Still Team Canada hold firm, and it's Canada counter-attacking. Looking for Lindros. Lindros has got it. Comes in and whistles off the boards, and that'll do it for the end of the second period. So Canada's 1-goal advantage remains intact at the end of 2 periods. This game between the 2 top teams remains in Canada's favour, 2-1 over the CIS, and we'll be back for the third period in just a couple of moments.
They ate the same lunch, got the same heartburn. But his antacid is very different. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums. That's the one you want.
Who does Prism have for you in '92? Woody Allen, Annette Bening, Jacqueline Bisset, Chevy Chase, Robert De Niro, Danny Glover, Peter Falk, Barbara Hershey, Dennis Hopper, Angelica Houston, Steve Martin, Demi Moore, Robert Redford, Barbara Streisand, Jason Robards, Teresa Russell, Robin Williams. Each and every month, the superstars come to life on Prism. Call your cable company and get a better variety of superstars. Get Prism today. Al Morganti.
Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
Glenn Macnow.
Hey, I've got all the answers. Honest.
Jason Stark.
Nobody understands sports better than I do.
Angelo Cataldi.
Who needs these guys? I should have my own TV show.
Fenway. Opinions, arguments, and a dog. What more do you need? The great sports debate every week exclusively on Prism, the channel with a better variety of sports.
You join us for the third period in this game between Canada and the CIS. Both teams won their first match of this Swedish pre-Olympic ice hockey tournament. At the moment it's Canada looking to make it 2 wins on the trot, unless the CIS can do something about that in the final 20 minutes. Nick Falling with Alex Dampier, Globe Arena in Stockholm.
Well, Canada probably went into the dressing room feeling quite relieved at the second period. They withstood a few penalties and looked good in their penalty killing. The goaltender played well, so they got to think they've got a pretty solid squad going into third, and they've got as many chances in the last 2 periods as scores that the Russians have, or the CIS have. So they've got to be confident, and I'm sure they're all pumped up for this one.
Well, it's the oldest cliche in the book, I suppose, but a 1-goal lead is never enough. Canada cannot sit back and rest on their laurels and hope that they can hold the CIS off. They've got to look to score another goal or 2 themselves as well here in this third period.
Well, yeah, certainly the CIS team especially, you sit back and you're in trouble. I mean, you've got to attack them all the time. You have to keep on them, keep playing the game that got you that 2-1 lead. I don't think there's any team now in the top European leagues or the international teams that you can sit back on. They've all got a fair bit of offense, and you have to respect for that, especially the CIS team.
So a face-off in the CIS. The rink. It looks like the Moscow-based team have managed to get it away, but not for long, and there's an offside, I think, there.
This Lindros line is getting a lot of ice time, and they look like they've played together before. They're looking quite sharp.
They did in the first game. We see Dave Archibald there. He's linked up with Eric Lindros on the left wing. That's played quite well.
Well, they're playing tough too, which is something your best lines don't always do. But they're showing up in the corners and showing up on the boards, and they're just playing a good, strong hockey game.
Lindros and Archibald just nicks that one away, and he's over. And maybe a penalty there against Dmitry Motkov.
That could have quite easily been. He challenged him and took away most of the net on him.
Good job, Red.
Trefilov doing a very good job indeed, thwarting. There we are, there we can see it from above. That's John Chabot, in fact, not Stefan Roy, John Chabot. And he plays his ice hockey in Milan. He's from Indian, Native American Indian stock. Well, he's been around.
At least Canada are getting the chances and creating the chances. That's probably what King is more worried about than anything, that they get up against this team and wouldn't create enough offensive chances. And I think the only thing they have to work on now is a little bit of their defensive zone work.
And there's Chabot bringing it out. The counter-attack on again, Dan Ratушны dumping it in. Nobody there for Team Canada. And so the CIS get a break here. 3-on-2, but support coming in, and a very, very important interception there from Gordy Hynes. Schlegel with the big hit. Hynes and Schlegel have played very well at the back for Team Canada. That's their first defensive front.
I think they're lucky to have picked up a guy like Gordy Hynes. He's going to be invaluable in the rest of this tournament if they're going to win it, because he's got that offensive thrust, and plus defensively he's quite strong. We haven't really seen a lot of mistakes by the Canadian defense, and sometimes that's a real suspect area in the Canadian game.
Well, Gordy Hynes, the guilty man, I think. A spot of hook in there, I think, perhaps.
Well, he got caught out a little bit. He was a little bit flat-footed, and I think he pretty well had to put the hook in, and otherwise he could have been in a bit of trouble.
And let's see if we can see it again. And yeah, the man was clean through, so Hynes does what a man's gonna do.
Well, you know, if the Russian hadn't gone down there, he got away with it, because all he did was stick the hook through and wrenched him around, which is a good play, and a lot of the times you get away with it, but he yanked him just a little too hard, and he spun him onto his knees.
These Europeans, they're always falling over, aren't they, Alex?
Well, I don't know what's wrong with them. They got to get the skate guards off one of these days. It's funny when a lot of these players go and play in the NHL, they learn not to dive around as much anymore, because they lose the respect of the rest of their teammates.
Kurt Giles looks to clear it, but the pressure stays on. Giles again.
I think Canada's got to force them. I would think if they sit back, they're going to be in trouble. They just can't allow them just to tee off on this goaltender.
Well, a very important power play this. 2 apiece. Team Canada looking for their opening. The CIS rather looking for their opening. They're patient. There's Smyrnov.
They are challenging a bit more, Nick, but still, that guy, he's getting a lot of shots. I mean, every power play is getting 2 or 3 shots, and he can shoot. They're going to have to do something to take away that shot.
Puck in centre ice, but immediately it comes back, and trying to thread his way through the needle there was Titov. They've done a good job on keeping Titov relatively quiet. He is dangerous. And there he is, number 13, Herman Titov.
Well, it's number 4 on the point, Селянин. I probably pronounce that more like a Finn, but he's the guy that's getting all the big shots, and they work to him all the time. They've got to start cheating out there a bit.
There's Smyrnov looking for...
In fact, they are. That man just out there is cheating towards number 4. He's trying to take away that shot. He's got to be on him quick.
There it is, the shot coming in from Селянин. To give him his proper pronunciation.
Well, that's my Finlander coming out in this. Yeah, I don't speak Russian that well.
However you pronounce it, he is dangerous with the slap shot, and here they are setting him up again. Селянин, that one doesn't get through. There's a scramble in front of the net, and it's Kurt Giles cleaning up. And so the pressure goes off, but straight away it's coming back again. Trefilov, the goalie, out of his net, and the pressure stays on. Here's Селянин with another opportunity, but again a patient build-up. Селянин lets that one go. Another shot coming in, well saved by Trevor Kidd. But again, intense pressure, possibilities for Yazyin. Yazyin couldn't quite get what he wanted there from the puck. It just got away from him, and the break is on from Dave Archibald. And that shot from Brad Schlegel.
Good try, Red.
That was a good save. It was a good play, because the Russian or the CIS defenseman dropped, set up a screen, and he just snapped it over top of him.
Made it look very easy indeed. Andrei Trefilov, Brad Schlegel frustrated. But when you see Trefilov making saves like that, it's hard to believe that he's actually been his net's been broached twice in this game.
Well, he's had a lot of pressure at times, and the goals that have gone in have been good goals. There hasn't been anything sloppy, and he's made some good saves. But I think the CIS are underestimating this kid if they say he's not a very good goaltender, because he's certainly stood up to a lot of good quality shots in the last few games.
So here's Gordie Hynes for Team Canada, looking to begin another assault. Find Schlegel, and Schlegel looking up for Dave Archibald.
Oh, great hit. Good hit. Lindros just followed that one right through.
And it's Lindros now in centre ice. Getting back and feeding Schlegel, and here's Lindros again, deep in his own territory. Ratушны. You're not going to go one-on-one with Eric Lindros and get away with much, as Boris Smирnov discovered there. There goes the big fella. 2-2 then between Canada and the CIS. We'll be back after the break.
Larry Bird was born to be a champion. He was destined for glory in the game he loved. Call this toll-free number now and get bird watching at its best in this amazing video, Larry Bird, a basketball legend. It's free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated, the best way to capture all the drama of sports. Through rare footage, you'll follow Larry from the basketball courts of Indiana to the hallowed halls of the Boston Garden. Be there when the championships are won. Share the glory, live the moments. Be there for the hard-fought and emotional duels with Larry's longtime friend and rival, Magic Johnson. Call now to subscribe or new. Get your free video and 54 issues of SI, including the swimsuit issue, for only $1.29 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. For quicker delivery, use your credit card. Don't miss this heartwarming tale of a boy who lived his dreams. It's the story of a legend. The legend lives in Sports Illustrated. Call now.
Canada bringing it away. Ken Yaремчук dumping it in. It's third period. We're still balanced at 2 apiece.
Good work, Reg. You're going well, Reg. Keep it going now.
The way things are going right now, I think if Canada keep out of the penalty box, there was a penalty hitting from behind. That could be a 5-minute penalty quite easily.
Sergei Селянин
towards his shoulders, you know, that's one of the worst hits in hockey, coming up from behind a guy 3 feet from the boards and drilling him into the barrier. That's one of the things that's getting outlawed in NHL hockey now, because it's one that caused a real serious neck injury.
Селянин will spend a couple of minutes, well, at least a couple of minutes. This could be a 5-minuter. I'll have to wait and see what the officials made of that. But whatever, Селянин will take no further part for the next 2 minutes. His second penalty of the game, boarding the call. So, Team Canada go to the power play. And this really a crucial phase of the match inside the final 10 minutes. 2 apiece. Canada must look to try and make something on this power play.
Well, the story so far has really been penalty killing. Both teams have done a tremendous job in penalty killing. Except, of course, the CIS scored early on in the first period on the power play. I think right now, whenever Canada get a chance to shoot, they've got to tee it off. They can't be messing around.
Well, that was Gordie Hynes with the shot there.
Come on, Joe. Use your cool.
And Joe Jüno didn't like something. Not quite sure what Juno's complaining about.
Well, I think that shot from behind that caused the penalty initially is something that none of the players like, and then they just can't take that. And they're going to show the Russian or the CIS team that they're going to stand up and start pushing and shoving back a bit.
Good save coming in from Trefilov from the shot from Gordie Hynes.
The Canadians have got to get somebody to the net. The goaltender's playing well. That puck comes back to Hynes. They've got to drive to the net, get some screen in front of them.
Just over 8 minutes remaining. Archibald hooking up with Joe Jüno. Man who just lost his temper a couple of minutes ago as he got his composure back. Jüno looking for a man, finds Archibald, and Archibald's fairly weak slap shot goes into the glove of Trefilov. No problems there.
They're working the very similar power play to the Russians, but the Russians have it down a little bit better. They work it around and they work it over to that first timer, and the Canadians will have to do that. They'll just have to be a little bit more patient.
Lindros. Opportunity here for Lindros. The pressure stays on. Archibald.
They're working the puck around well, but they still have to get those shots on net. They're making some passes, but they're not really penetrating.
Stick interception there, but it's come back in. Archibald again.
The CIS really forced the play. They pinch hard over on the boards and try to isolate one man. Well, you can see it's going to be a tight third period here.
Yeah, mistake now will cost one or other of these teams the game, so the pressure really on. And we have ourselves an injured player getting up very slowly, Herman Titov. Titov looks like he may have taken a whack in the face. And a nosebleed there for Titov.
And you heard me cut an elbow.
He has had pressure all day. There's been somebody on Herman Titov's case the whole time. On that occasion,
oh, he cut a stick.
It was Patrick Lebo doing the damage. I'm sure that was unintentional. And so Herman Titov will sit this one out. We'll have to wait and see how bad that is. That could be a break. Let's hope it's nothing more serious than just a nosebleed.
You know, in the way they're calling it now, any high stick at all, if it draws blood, accidental or not, it's a 5-minute penalty. So Canada got off very lucky there. They didn't get a major penalty out of it.
Well, it's been a feature of the game that the officials have let quite a few things go.
I think some of them must be worried though that when they go to Albertville, that might not be the case.
I'm sure it'll be a lot tougher in Albertville. The CIS on the attack themselves. Lindros is back there. A very cool, calm and collected play from Team Canada. Chabot dumping it in. Nobody home though for the Canadians.
This is where fitness is going to come in. We're going to see now what kind of shape Team Canada's in. I'm sure the Russian or the CIS team is in top physical condition. And if Canada slack off at all, they're going to find themselves in trouble. So if the fitness is up, I think Canada have got more and a better chance of winning this game.
Well, the pressure certainly coming. Trevor Kidd,
big save.
Down to make a big save there. That could have been disastrous. Trevor Kidd equal to the task because Alexei Yazyin was moving in on that one.
Well, here he is here. You know, he hasn't had a lot of work to do, and that's even harder on a goaltender. There's a screen in front. Oh, he came across with a big save. They got, you know, that should have been buried. I thought the CS should have been one up on that one. But that was good reflexes on Kidd's part. He's a good goaltender.
Well, he certainly hasn't let his team down, Trevor Kidd. Sean Burke, New Jersey Devils, the first choice for this Team Canada team. May have to look over his shoulder for the future.
Well, this young lad looks like he's got a future. It's got to be difficult. It's a hard kind of game to sit back and you don't get a lot of work, and all of a sudden you get a power play and you get 4 or 5 shots. And then you sit back for the 5 minutes and don't get anything.
Here we go. Here we go.
An icing call against Team Canada, so the face-off will be in their territory.
The U.S. Pro Indoor, February 17th through the 23rd.
I used to beat the competition with a convincing fake and a pretty good slam dunk. But in the business world, those moves don't work. What does work are Superbox seats at Spectrum 2, the new arena. There's indoor parking, a VIP entrance, big comfortable seats, and a sensational view of all the Sixers and Flyers action. In business, I know what it takes to be successful. And when Spectrum 2 opens, you better believe the doctor will be in.
For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Out here, if you don't have a diehard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears diehard, more power when you need it most.
Who's gonna back it better than Sears?
Good reflex save there, Trevor Kidd. That shot came out of nothing. Shows how important Kidd's concentration needs to be. Be another icing call. CIS turning the screws here in the latter stage of this third session.
It looks like it. I think Canada maybe just sitting back a little bit, trying to weather the storm, and certainly not the way to go about it. They might be tired too. It's hard to say. They didn't go with a particularly long bench. You know, some of the key players had a lot of ice time tonight, and that might be telling right now.
Well, we saw this in the Canadians' game against Sweden, that Canada seemed to be happy to sit back and absorb pressure, almost as if it was part of the policy to see how they would play when they were under the cosh, and they rose to that challenge magnificently. Lindros looking to set up a breakaway here, but it's a dangerous strategy, that, sitting back against the CIS.
I wouldn't think it's something that Dave King would ask them to do. I mean, if you're a far inferior team, then you have to sit back and weather the storm, but there's no reason why Canada should sit back against any team. Possibly the game against Sweden, they couldn't sort their lines out, and possibly King said, well, look, if you're in trouble, let's just make sure we're strong in our defensive zone.
But certainly, if you've got to fancy one or other of these teams to break the deadlock, then the betting man's money would probably be on the team in white, the Commonwealth of Independent States.
They're certainly looking stronger in the dying stages of this third period.
Be moving, be moving!
You see a guy like Lindros has had a lot of ice time, and he may just be feeling the pace just a little bit right now.
Still the pressure stays on.
Support! Support!
You can hear them yelling, use the boards, use the boards. They don't want to create any chances at all for the CIS, but coming up the middle. Keep everything tight to the wall and down deep.
Icing against the CIS.
That's probably why they've done so well tonight too, Nick, is Canada has kept the game wide and kept it deep as much as possible. They haven't tried to do an awful lot up through the middle and give the CIS a chance to pick off a bad pass and all of a sudden go on the offense.
So Dan Ratушны we saw coming out there. Save there from Motkov, slapshot.
Kidd has come up with some big saves here in the last 5 minutes. He's looking more like a veteran every time he has to come up with a big save.
Wally Schreiber. Right across the goal from Gordy Hynes. That would have capped his game off nicely. But it wasn't to be, and you could hear the gasps from the Canadian bench. But the pressure stays on. Team Canada looking for the winning goal here. But Andrei Trefilov just takes the sting out of the situation. Gloves up. Just scoots the puck around once or twice before letting the official have it. And time starting to be a little bit of a factor here now in this third session. 2 apiece between Canada and the CIS.
But Trefilov's got to feel the pressure also. He's in a situation where he's had very little to do, and all of a sudden, down comes Schreiber, bang, big shot. And then down comes Gordy Hynes, another big shot. It's a funny game for goaltenders. They're not in it, and all of a sudden they have to come up with a big save.
And certainly a goal now for either team would more or less put the other team out of contention. Less than 2 minutes to go. This face-off very important for the CIS. Canada looking for a late winner. And Lindros has got it. Lindros reacts first to that one, tries to take it around the net. He's tied up well by the CIS. But it's still there, and Lindros has got it again. Lindros goes down. There's a scramble. The CIS did very well defensively, covering up on the boards there, but it's gone back in again. Dave Archibald looking to find Lindros. Lindros has got it and taken it around. And Archibald has come inside. And the CIS get it away, but not for long.
A lot of clutching and grabbing going on out there. The CIS know they can't mess around with this Lindros line. They're grabbing him every chance they get, trying to draw him down. Good hit.
Dave Hannah getting in on the boards there, but Hannah may pay for that, and it's the CIS that bring it away. Nick Olshin pressing forward inside the final minute now. Still 2 apiece. Men down all over the ice.
Can't guilty again, Nick. The Russians outnumbering them down in the corner. They had 3 men down, Canada only had 2. You've got to go man-to-man. This time of night, you've got to take your man out, pin him, don't let anybody back in the play. Almost scored a goal very similar to how they got their first one, walking out from the corner completely unmarked.
Today's contact takes on...
Carol's horrible cold. I have a lot of congestion in through here, like it's going to blow off the top of my head.
You took a cold pill, right?
The effects wore off. The congestion's coming back.
That's because ordinary cold pills can quit working after just 4 hours. Try Contact. You'll get continuous relief for up to 12 hours.
I felt wonderful. All my symptoms were gone, everything dried up. It's for busy people who have no time to be sick. This is a great product, and I'm going to go out and buy it. Tonight.
Today's Contact, 12 hours stronger than Carol's horrible cold.
Hi, I'm Sandy, and I just got to tell you about this great music offer I just received. It's called Greatest Original Oldies, and it's just packed with fabulous songs from the 50s and 60s.
Here's the music offer you've been waiting for. Greatest Original Oldies. A special collector's edition of 36 #1 oldies hits by the original artists. You'll get
Roll over Beethoven, I gotta hear it again today. Where are you, little star?
I'm so crazy about this music, and this special offer has all the songs you remember.
Eddie, my love.
There is a rose in Spain. Only through this special TV offer can you get Greatest Original Oldies for the incredible low price of $19.98 for the giant cassette set or $24.98 for the compact discs.
So if you love 50s and 60s music like I do, you just gotta get Greatest Original Oldies. What are you waiting for? Here's how to order.
Call toll-free 1-800-452-4300 or send $19.98 for the cassettes or $24.98 for the compact discs to Greatest Original Oldies, P.O. Box 210, Little Ferry, New Jersey. Please include $4 for postage and handling.
Less than a minute remaining. Still 2-2. Trevor Kidd helping to keep his team in the game. Andre Trefilov performing similar honours for the CIS. 2 apiece, but really both goalies have been stars tonight in their own different ways.
Yeah, and they're both young goaltenders, and you know, from what we've heard from the CIS camp, they don't expect a great deal from Trefilov, and of course we didn't really know what to expect from Kidd, and both of them have come up with you know, veteran performances.
Last few seconds then. Can somebody break this deadlock? Joe Juno's doing his best. Gets it in. Pressure coming in on that one nearly went in for Team Canada. Centimetres away there from Joe Juno, really pressing forward from back deep. But now it's the CIS on the attack. Going around the boards, Kidd stops it.
See the CIS now, even late in the game, their game plan, get it in, don't mess around that neutral zone, put it in behind. That's exactly what they're doing, very much a North American tactic.
This one looks like it may be destined for a draw unless Team Canada can come up with something in the last gasp. You can hear the countdown from the kids, just a couple of seconds to go. That should do it. And there it is. 2 apiece. It finishes. The 2 teams stay unbeaten. They'll pick up 3 points from their 2 games. There's the look at the scoring. Just the 1 goal in that final session from R.Yakubov. Very quickly from you, Alex. A fair result as we see the shots on goal tally.
Well, I think Canada's very happy to come out with a draw. The first 2 periods they could have had more goals from what happened, but they should be happy with the draw, I think.
So 3 points each for CIS and Canada. CIS on top at the moment with a superior goal difference. We'll see it tomorrow.
What they are, I suppose it's just the breaks, but you know, they've got to start making their own breaks here soon.
Well, it's the Swedes, of course, in their usual blue and yellow. The Czechs are in red. Both teams looking for their first win of this 1992 pre-Olympic tournament. And an early opportunity here coming in from Hakan Lud.
I mean, there's a shot that a good scoring chance from a quality area, and they miss it. It's not like Lube, you know. He's a good hockey player, and his big thing is scoring goals.
Another shot comes in and just smacks against the back of the boards. And the Czechs take it over the blue line into center ice.
It's going to be interesting to see Boris Salming playing again. He put so many years in with the Toronto Maple Leafs in the NHL. I haven't seen him play for a number of years now, and I always admired him. He's a tremendously skilled hockey player.
And as we said in game 1, you don't get to 40 years of age and still be playing at this level without having an awful lot of natural talent.
I didn't realize he's that old. He's as old as you, Nick.
He's even older. Not quite as old as you, though, Alex. The Czechs looking for an early goal. A feature of all 3 of the previous games is a goal within the first 4 or 5 minutes. But this one will follow suit. Anyway, here come the Swedes once again.
I think they've got to look at their big players like Hack and Lube. You know, he's got to be a good scorer. Naslin, another guy that's a proven goal scorer. They're older players, but they've always managed to get on the score sheet. And I think Czechs will have to keep an eye on them. Or these guys